Hey guys, this is Impact Hall of Famer Gail Kim, and you are watching the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC, and I'm joined this week by Mike.
I'm Mike, and I support Cesaro.
And yes, do not adjust your computers, do not adjust your phones. That is clear as day. Tommy, congratulations on your new camera, Tommy.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm so happy. I'm very happy to be here.
Now we can see him clearly from the Tokyo Dome. How amazing it all looks. So, technology.
I swear I'm going to be in this building for real one day. I'm going to take this exact picture.
You know,
and it's always going to be my background.
Tommy, I can almost say on this day, I see clearly. You.
Yes. So,
Thank you.
Tommy
And I can see you laughing at that too.
I thank you, Tommy, for making very good use of your stimulus check and investing in this show. I appreciate it.
Thank you, government.
Our Twitter account at ccg_WrestleCast. You can subscribe here to the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel.
Oh my God, you can see me point. Holy
Yes.
shit, this camera's amazing.
Make sure you subscribe and get notifications because this Sunday we will be live streaming our reactions to the Royal Rumble matches for the WWE Royal Rumble. And shortly after the event, we are going to go live for our recap. To recap the Rumble. We won't be doing a tape and release later next week. I have some family things I need to attend to, but we are going to do a live recap Sunday after the Royal Rumble. And who knows if it goes well, maybe we'll do that from now on. I have no idea. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. So
I don't know, man. We're just making it up as we go.
yeah, exactly. Although it's been recommended sometimes maybe we should live stream our show just to get comments and stuff. Who knows? Maybe.
You know.
Yeah.
Make it up as we go, which is literally WCW in the year 2000.
Well, let's get into it. There's a lot to talk about. Some news we will cover later as well, along with the Royal Rumble. So let's jump right into it. The Royal Rumble, the beginning of WrestleMania season. It's going to be a little different being in the Thunderdome. It's the first Royal Rumble where there's not going to be a live fan reaction. It's going to be interesting. Last year, of course, we all remember it being Minute Park, Edge's big return. We all reminisce about 5 years ago. It was AJ Styles' debut and how we wish we were recording ourselves from my living room going nuts when he came out.
5 years ago.
Man.
5 years ago. Can you believe that?
I mean, I know I marked out when I saw Roman's face. So
Yeah, there's that too. But I do like how we were like, well, why is Roman looking like that? And then when they showed AJ walk out, and I love how we didn't even need to see his face. All he did was walk out. You could tell that's AJ Styles.
It was weird because they were showing Roman's face. You heard the music. Who was that? You heard the crowd suddenly pop, and then you cut to see AJ walking out. But when they replay the debut, they do the camera shot they should have done, which was cut to the Jumbotron. I am phenomenal. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And that was the. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that was the year we were gonna go to WrestleMania 32, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just gonna say I remember for those couple of seconds when you hear the music, but you see Roman's face. It's not a song. I mean, like now it's his song.
Yeah.
At the time, like that's not like AJ Styles was not what I was thinking with the way that song was playing. I was like, who is this? Like, and then so. It took a while to get that used to him, especially because we used to love his old TNA's But it's him now.
I still have that on my iTunes. I still blast it every now and again.
Are you kidding me? When Swoggle came out to do a parody of AJ Styles on Impact, they used that music.
Yeah,
man,
I saw that.
That's still one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Yes.
And when you mentioned Edge, I remember when the numbers hit and you heard, and when everyone heard "You Think You Know Me," and like everyone around the world collectively lost their shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
You think you know me, and like, oh my God, and like a million people fainted at the exact same time.
Well, we're going to get into it before we get to the actual Rumble matches. There's 3 title matches currently on the card. Obviously, we're filming this on Tuesday. We have no idea when what they may add on SmackDown or if they may just run with this. So, first, The Women's Tag Team Championship, Asuka and Charlotte Flair defending against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Tina not able to join us this evening, but she has picked Asuka and Charlotte to retain. As she puts it, Charlotte's never going to put these people over. So
I concur.
I agree with her, Asuka and Charlotte. I think, Mike, it sounds like you agree too. So,
Well, is there a way for Shayna, Nia, and Charlotte to lose and only Asuka win? Because
nice.
if that's a possibility, I'm down for that. But if it has to be a tag team, then yes, I choose Asuka and Charlotte.
I'm picking Asuka and Charlotte, thinking it's going to be Charlotte trying to carry the match, win, and they're going to set up some weird storyline where she's going to somehow get number one contender. Maybe not necessarily through the Rumble, but be the number one contender for Asuka's title win at WrestleMania while they're tag team champions, and then run that storyline. That's
probably
That's
although what I would like to see is I would like to see Charlotte and Nia in the ring in like an injure off to see who's going to hurt the other one first. Because I don't know if you saw Monday Night Raw, but they were having the competition right there. Charlotte's like knee and Shayna in the head with her head sticking out the ropes, and then Nia Jax is like power bomb choke slamming Mandy Rose and probably giving her a concussion. Or was it Dana? Maybe it was Dana. But it was there was just some bad things in that match.
Jeez.
People need to be safer again, So yeah. Tommy, where are you going with on this one?
Asuka and Charlotte. I still refuse to bet against Asuka, even though Vince does. Honestly, every time I see, because like it's hard to make this argument with people. It's like, yeah, I agree they're not like quote unquote misusing Asuka because she's champion, but my God, they could try harder. Like seriously. It's like at this point, I just want her to go back to Stardom. I want her to go back to Japan, and Stardom's building back up. They can probably pay her more now. She can go back.
They got support from New Japan. Yeah.
Yeah. She could be in New Japan. Who cares? She's wrestled Suzuki before in a tag team match. I don't think he would care much about fighting her again.
Well, then, given this past Monday, maybe we need to see Bliss versus Suzuki in her female fiend version.
Oh, Bliss all day. Bliss all day.
To be fair, Suzuki is an equal opportunity ass whooper. He cares not for your gender. He really doesn't care where you look like, where you're from, and he don't care if you're a chick or a dude. He'll happily beat the crap out of you. So, in fairness, Suzuki is the ultimate opportunity guy. Like, hey, I don't care who you are. I'll put you.
I'm not sexist.
I would put Demon Bliss over Okada any day of the week. I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh my God, Tommy!
Dare you, sir?
Tommy, that has to be worse than my Vince Gato joke.
It's borderline. It's naked with what you said.
I need to segue a little bit real quickly because okay, as you guys may know, the PWI year-end awards came out. Orange Cassidy's on the cover. Great cover, by the way. We're not going to talk about it today. We'll probably talk about it in a couple weeks when we preview NXT. But they have the unofficial official awards. These are the ones that fans submit an award. And there's one that came up, and I was like, Tommy needs to know this. It's the What Did You Expect? It's His Name award. And it goes to when Evil betrayed Tetsuya Naito.
Yes, that is absolutely correct.
You're still salty about that. I was like, I have to share this with Tommy.
Yes, I'm still salty about that because that traitor.
But again, what'd you expect? It's his name. So
I know, but still, I am still not over that. It's almost been a year at this point. I'm still not over it.
Moving on, Universal Championship is going to be defended in a last man standing match. Roman Reigns defending against Kevin Owens. Tina is picking Kevin Owens. She wants an upset here. And I'm not just picking this because I married her, but I have a theory on what may go down in the Men's Royal Rumble. I think Kevin Owens is going to win as well. Just the last man standing, anything can happen, obviously. And who knows, maybe he throws a forklift on him or some shit like that. I don't know. But they'll do some sort of last man standing thing. And I'd be interested to see if Kevin Owens can pull this off the way it's been built up. So, Mike, what do you got?
I want that to kind of happen. I can't see it right now. I got to go Reigns.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't give WWE that much credit. So
All right. And Tommy, what about you?
I'm going Reigns as well. It kind of feeds into my Royal Rumble pick. We'll pick, and it's like, and I want Owens to win it because honestly, to me, if there are other people besides Sasha and Bayley who've been carrying the company on their backs recently, well, I'll say Asuka too because favoritism. I'll say it's Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. I mean, it was definitely those two. Like, I know Owens disappeared for a minute during the pandemic because of COVID, family and everything. I get that. So for a while, I would put Seth Rollins in that too, and of course Reigns was gone too. But like when they came back, I would say if someone was carrying the company, it was Reigns and Owens. So yeah.
All right.
I want Owens to win it, but I think Reigns is going to keep it.
Final championship match we're going to talk about is the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre defending against Goldberg. Hang on, I have the text wrong here. Let me fix that now. There, against Oldberg. There we go.
Oh God, you suck! I hate you.
Drew McIntyre against Oldberg. Tina's picking Drew McIntyre. Let's face it, none of us want to see Oldberg win. That's just what it comes down to. We're tired of it. He doesn't need to be there.
Wait,
and
JC, it's not 1997, right?
It's not. No.
Okay, cool. Then yes.
It's not on the streak. And I'm going to use a little math with you. I think we can call this. It might be the transitive property. Lesnar beat Oldberg. Whooped his ass. McIntyre beat Lesnar. Boom. McIntyre should beat Oldberg, right?
That is the transitive property, but
yeah,
I've seen that used in sports to like have the worst team in the league be able to beat the best team in the league. Yeah. So
I'm going with it.
Vince McMahon is that variable you can't take into account.
I know because I made this joke talking about on the Geekcast talking about Kong versus Godzilla, the movie. If Vince McMahon was booking that shit, somehow Brock Lesnar would go over. Let's be honest here. So. Tommy,
or a monster with blonde hair.
Exactly. Tommy, who are you picking in this one?
Oh dear Lord, Drew McIntyre. It's becoming the thing that I have to been saying about Brock Lesnar. I don't hate Brock Lesnar. I don't hate Goldberg. But what is this booking? What is this booking? I read an interview where Charlotte said, "Why is it a problem for her coming back and getting title shots, and not a problem for men who do it?" And I'm thinking, it's a problem for men who do it.
Yeah,
it's a problem for Brock Lesnar to do it. It's a problem for Goldberg to do it. It's the same thing. It's not okay. There are people who've been there who need a title shot. Cesaro needs a title shot.
Yeah, like she clearly only sees what she wants to because, I've been down on Lesnar for years.
Yeah, she's never seen our Twitter accounts. Like seriously,
no.
It's just.
And it is. I'm not saying she's not deserving, but I'm sorry. You don't. Anybody else sits on the shelf and comes back, they're not immediately throwing the title picture. Let's be honest.
And I think it's also just the way she's presented. But anyways, that's a whole thing.
Mike, are you going with McIntyre or are you going with Oldberg?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that is like in the back of my head now, especially because I know we're going to talk about this later, is with things changing with how we're going to watch WrestleMania and where we're going to watch it, do they think they need to put those big old names to make WrestleMania a big splash? That's the only little thing. I'm going to pick McIntyre, but I'm a little worried about that.
Yeah.
You see, I think the mistake that they're making with that, if that's where they go, is the fact that Sting showed up at AEW.
Mm-hmm. Now they're freaking out.
Yeah, but the difference being, it's like he didn't immediately get a title shot, and at most he's just been stalking Darby Allin. Which, to be fair, Darby Allin stalked him right back. So
he's not thrust in the main title picture.
He's not even thrust towards the main event. If anything, he's honestly, at the middle show.
If he ends up wrestling Darby and has a great match and beats Darby, in a way that makes sense. Sting himself with a Nitro was a staple on TNT television for so many years. So it would be fitting for him.
He was their poster boy, legitimately.
Yeah, he was the TNT champion before there was a TNT championship.
Yep.
So I could see that, but eventually they work out something. And be honest with you, this long feud, whatever they're working out with Sting and Darby Allin, it's going to make Darby look like $1 million, like bigger than he could have had with anybody else. You know,
I do like the fact that they're booking it like that, because it's like Darby has this air about him of him not backing down, like when Sting debuted and he went to everyone in the ring, and the only person who managed to pull himself to his feet was Darby Allin to look Sting directly in the eye. You know, so and that's one thing. Even if they have a match or Sting wins, at least there's been a build up to it for this. Goldberg showed up randomly, and a month later is getting a title shot.
Confirm Sting in the Rumble.
Right. It's not even that, but he showed up and said, "You've been disrespecting me." And I'm like, did you not see what Randy was doing the whole fucking night on Legends night?
Well, did we ever talk about that? Like, apparently,
we did when it happened. Yeah.
Okay, the time got cut, so there was supposed to be more. Drew was supposed to say some stuff apparently after the match, but time got cut, so they sent Goldberg directly. So he was like referring to something that never happened but was supposed to. That's what made it even better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait for the Snyder cut of that promo. I guess we'll see.
Nah, I don't have 17 hours to watch.
Okay. All right.
Oh my God! The worst part about Snyder cut jokes is they're not old yet. That's the.
But they just take forever to actually. Never mind.
Yeah,
Dang it! Okay, I walked into that one. Sorry.
All right.
JC, go.
Women's Royal Rumble, the first match we're going to be reacting to, most likely, I have a feeling this is going to open the Royal Rumble show. Just because currently there's no women's title on the line right now. Women's Rumble, currently there are 12 superstars confirmed: Nia Jax, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Bayley, Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, Peyton Royce, Alexa Bliss, Shayna Baszler, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, and Tamina are the 12 that are officially confirmed. Obviously, we'll probably hear some more on Friday with Smackdown. And in front of you guys, you should have, at least when I printed them out, the most recent odds for the Rumble, Vegas odds, because Vegas likes money. And there's some interesting names on there, but here's what we're picking right now. We're picking who we think's going to win and who we think the big surprise is going to be. Tina is picking Alexa Bliss to win this Rumble. I didn't have to coach her on it. She did it on her own. And her surprise entrant is Becky Lynch at number 30. Thinking Becky Lynch will make a surprise. Yeah, that's what Tina's picking. Mike is probably going to turn his camera off again because I'm also picking Alexa Bliss. She probably needs to win one. There it goes. Maybe? No?
Okay, hold on. What was that last sentence you said?
She finally needs to win one? No. I don't know. Okay, here's my thing. This is what I worry about with this, is if they totally turn it into a cinematic.
You can't turn I know the Rumble is in the Thunderdome. You can't turn the Rumble.
They should not.
And it's my thought is she's gonna be coming in, I don't know, early, middle, be the happy Alexa, and at some point get rolled knocked like under the ring or something, and show up towards the end as Demon Alexa. And no one's gonna be able to throw her out. That's my thought, at least on the way they're gonna book this. You know? So they really have this gimmick over. I know everyone's happy, and yes, I had a mark-out moment hoping Alexa would beat Asuka, but yes, in the long run, from a booking standpoint, you make Asuka look weak that way. And
Did you hear that, Tommy?
Yes.
First he made the jokes about New Japan, and now this. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I thought.
Anyway, my surprise entrance, and I'm taking a long shot here, but I'm praying for this one. AJ Lee. I probably say it every year until she comes back, at least for something. But
you do say her name a lot.
But she's posted some interesting stuff on social media. Maybe she's getting to people. Maybe she's working something out. But she mentioned something about being in quarantine. So who knows? So my surprise is going to be AJ Lee. My pick is going to be Alexa Bliss. Mike or Tommy, who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Okay.
Honestly, and Mike, I hate to say this, but I kind of had a feeling Alexa Bliss might win this one too.
Wow.
Not crazy. I was looking at it, and then, like, just the person who's had the year before, My very, very, very close number 2 is Bianca Belair, but I don't think they'll let her do it yet. I think maybe another year they might.
She's favored right now.
I just like
that's the interesting part. Is Bianca Belair's favored to win it all, 9-2 on the Vegas.
Yeah,
yeah.
I would love to see her win it. I'd love to be wrong if she wins it, but we'll see. You know what? I was trying to look. See, my guess who might debut. I have one of two. It's either going to be Rhea Ripley or Toni Storm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those two. I don't know if they're going to pull any kind of big shocking names for this one, since there's no live crowd. But they might. They still might. I don't know. To get Twitter talking, if nothing else.
If it opens the show, they might just to, like you said, have Twitter talking. That'd be a big thing.
Yeah.
So, Mike, what about you?
I'm going to pick with my heart on this one. Well, one of my hearts. I'm going to go with Bayley. Okay. I don't think they will, but it's that last thing she needs on her Grand Slam champion. I think I've said this many times over the last month or two. I think she was the MVP of the quarantine era of WWE, and she's not that Bianca necessarily needs someone to work that hard, but I feel like Bayley's putting a lot of effort on her part to help Bianca get over.
Well,
like
she could be doing that thing that Daniel Bryan did for like Kofi, and now what he's doing for Cesaro.
Right.
Is like
exactly.
They're good, and people know they're good, so it's like, okay, I've had my time in the sun. Let's let them have their time in the sun. So
yeah, but I mean, she said she was done with Sasha for now. But I mean, that's them two back at WrestleMania was kind of the talk for a long time. So, you can bring it back to that. I don't know if it's as likely, but I think that's something I would really like to see. I think for my surprise entrance, just because I've heard some stuff online, I'm going to go with Melina. There's been a lot of talk about her coming back to the company, and she denies it, but then people are like, no. So I don't know. That'd be interesting.
I think I have heard that. Yeah, I think I have heard.
It's you mentioned that, and obviously John Morrison's the company here, X. We know Taya Valkyrie is no longer contracted to Impact. Is there a chance she makes a surprise show up at the Rumble?
I think I made that joke when y'all said last week that she was done, but I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot too. I was like, damn it. I was trying to think of someone who I knew recently had left somewhere, but I couldn't think of who it was. It was Taya, but
yeah, it was Taya.
I'm sticking with her.
Her contract was done. I mean, if she busts out of that Nashville jail that she's currently in for killing what's his face, then she'll show up and.
But if she does, she might just flee to Mexico with El Generico and Kevin Steen to help raise those.
Exactly.
I mean, you laugh, but the odds of them letting her keep Taya Valkyrie, it's 50-50 with WWE. You never know.
Oh yeah, it might be a different name, but the face will be recognizable.
Yeah.
But, we'll see. All right, men's Royal Rumble, and obviously we're thinking the women's may open the show. The men's will probably close the show. There's we got here 17 names confirmed, I think. Yes, 17 names confirmed, and one of which Daniel Bryan is actually favored by Vegas, 5-4 odds. People thinking Daniel Bryan's going to win this. Mike, I'm going to start with you. Tina has given me her picks, but I'm going to go reverse here. Mike, where are you going?
Going to go with my heart again.
Mm-hmm.
I sent y'all the memes. I'm going to let myself believe. I'm going to go with Cesaro.
Okay.
He's gotten a little push. At first, I was like, maybe they're just going to give him a nice little run, maybe the Final Four. But you know what? If Paul Heyman says on Talking Smack that maybe the only person that could stop Cesaro is Roman Reigns, I know they don't respect Paul Heyman's opinion and they took him off booking, but dang it, I'm all for it. So I'm going to go with my heart and say Cesaro.
He's saying it in character, too, as his advocate, maybe, right? So
yeah.
Who's your surprise entrant?
So I don't think this is probably going to happen, but given who entered last year, I'm going to say Christian.
You want to hear something funny?
What's that?
Tina picks Cesaro to win and her surprise entrant to be Christian.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious. Hashtag math. Even though she's not here right now, hashtag math. I'm throwing that up there.
Hashtag math.
Yes.
That is amazing.
Wow, that's really weird.
Pretty impressive, actually. Wow. You guys are awesome.
That's
All right, Tommy, where are you going?
Okay. All right. I have two. But who I think could possibly win it, honestly, is Edge, just because I wouldn't mind seeing that. But honestly, who I think might win it, and this plays into my reason why I picked earlier Roman Reigns to win, who I think might win it, is Nakamura.
Okay.
It might be, just
Because of the
I
recent
think
face turn. The
recent face turn. Music's back, thank God. I didn't. Here's the funny part. I didn't hate the other song. Actually, it was like, oh, it's actually not bad. Actually, it's just not Rising Sun. It's much better, but it's not bad. Yeah. But I think they might do it, and I think he might be the guy who beats Roman for it, because I want to see a feud between Nakamura and Cesaro for the belt. That's what I want to see. I want to see what should happen in New Japan happen in WWE.
Look, I would be 100% okay with that line of thinking if after WrestleMania Nakamura is a champion, then Cesaro is the first contender. I'd be down with that.
I can see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I'm feeling Nakamura this time around. Cesaro is actually my number 3 pick to win it, honestly. As for a surprise entrant, I don't know. Who still lives in Florida? Wait, who lives in Florida and isn't currently under contract with AEW? That's just got much shorter.
Yeah, just narrowing that down, right? So yeah.
Jeez, I don't know.
Swoggle.
I would love that, but I doubt it.
They've done it before, I think. Yeah. So.
Let me see who still works there. I don't know anymore.
Adam Pearce.
First of all, I wish they would actually let that happen since we're on that subject, because Adam Pearce can't go. So I wish they'd just let that match happen for real, because that'd have been sick as hell. But I'll just pick an NXT person, and I'll say Tommaso Ciampa. I don't know. Tommaso Ciampa. That's
okay. Fun. So, as you recall, I picked Kevin Owens to beat Roman Reigns. And I'll give you my scenario to where I think Roman Reigns will be my surprise entrant. Because I think when number 30 hits, or close to the end, you're going to hear Jey Uso's music. And Jay's going to be walking down, and then all of a sudden you're going to hear Roman's music, and he's going to tell Jay to go to the back. This is my spot now, since he's the head of the table, as he likes to say. And Roman Reigns will be the surprise entrant and take Jey Uso's spot in the Rumble. I think that's going to happen. Now, do I think he's going to win? No, because the internet would blow that crap up.
What I was going to say, they're lucky they're not in front of fans if you're
thinking that way. I think it's going to come down to a Final Four where it's going to be Roman, Cesaro, AJ Styles, and I'll say Daniel Bryan, since those seem to be like the favorites of it. And it's going to come down to Cesaro and Roman, and Cesaro's going to win. But I think Roman is going to find a way to get his title back from Kevin Owens, whether it's at the Chamber or at Fastlane going into WrestleMania. And I wouldn't be surprised if Fastlane is when Roman somehow gets a title shot, gets it back, and you set up Cesaro versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
So wait, you, and Tina are going all in on Cesaro, Roman Reigns, WrestleMania?
I have a feeling. And maybe mine's going a different route to get there, but I don't know. I feel like maybe Vince is finally listening. I say that, but I'm not. Don't give me hope, right? I just feel like that promo by Heyman, you got to listen to that.
Okay, so
I mean, I feel like that's where it's got to go.
Here's why I think you're right.
Okay.
Because I think you're right, because honestly, this sounds like what people have been saying about two guys for years that Vince finally let happen. One's more than infamous, Chris Benoit. It's infamous. It's infamous, but at the time, it was a good pick. The other is Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
So I think you have a point there because of those two. I think because when like with those two, I also think you might be right because when JBL went heel and no one thought he could be a good world champion, but they took a chance. That didn't work out well. I don't know what did.
That's true. Very true.
So,
And that in turn
it
set up
could,
Cena's big run too, just getting over JBL and
yeah,
stuff. You know.
yeah, but the legendary JBL heel title run was fantastic. I don't care what anybody says. You can't put a price tag on how good that was. It was absolute money.
Dang it. I used the Hawkeye meme of "Don't give me hope," and now if this doesn't happen, now that we're getting hyped about it, I'm gonna feel like Hawkeye looking down at Black Widow after she jumped. And I'm just gonna be crushed. Oh.
I know. I know. Well, if you
Weird
collect
things
all
have
the
happened.
stones,
It could still
you
happen.
collect all
You
the
never
stones,
know.
you make your wish, maybe you can make it happen. We'll see. But now one thing that's thrown a wrench in my potential theory, because I didn't really see what this happened. How in the hell does Miz still have his briefcase?
They said because when he cashed it in, Morrison had it and gave it to the official, and so it was literally that they were like, well, Miz
That's the
has to be the
loophole.
yes
Oh my
the
god.
champion has to be, or the Money in the Bank holder has to be the one to hand it and say it, and because Morrison did, it wasn't counted as official. I know.
Wow.
But I still think we come back to the problem. I like Miz, but I don't feel like he's at a point to go over any of the champs right now. Like, at least not Reigns and McIntyre. I hate to say it.
Do you think he would cash in at Mania, maybe after somebody wins that night? Or
oh my god, if he cashed in on Cesaro.
Or if
oh my god.
Heaven forbid if Oldberg wins this weekend and Drew McIntyre takes him out after the match, does Miz run in and cash in on Goldberg and beat him for the
So a face turn for Miz?
I don't
I could be into that.
I'm just like, wow. So many scenarios. Maybe they throw a swerve and Miz and Morrison cash in together and go for a tag title. Who knows? Right?
I do got to say, it's one of the Rumbles where you don't feel like there's just one guy that they're clearly, or woman, honestly, for both of them, where there's one clear, like it's probably going to be them. There's a lot of different things. Yeah.
It's going to be hard to judge it too because they haven't had fans in attendance.
Right.
Now, obviously, the Planet Mania, they've said they want to have a limited number of fans in Raymond James Stadium both nights. The NFL is already doing it. They're planning to have about 22,000 fans in attendance, including, I want to say, like first responders getting 7,000 getting free tickets, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But W is going to go that route. They want to get fans there. So they really got to pick it right, because if they put a shitty card together and those select fans shit on it, I'm just saying.
But what I kind of don't understand is AEW's been doing Daily's Place for a while, and they've been doing the little pods of fans. Why would WWE not be able to do the same thing? Is it different parts of Florida have different rules on it, or is it just?
I think part of it is that Daily's Place is technically outdoors.
No, but so is Raymond James Stadium. So
so
I don't see why that should be a problem.
Oh, that shouldn't be a problem. I'm just saying I'm worried about what fans are going to sell the tickets to.
Oh, right.
Who's going to buy the tickets and how much you're going to charge them for it, that kind of thing. That's what I'm thinking about. So we'll see. But this should be fun. I can't wait to react to these because let's face it, people reacting live is probably the only genuine crowd reaction you're going to get. Because with the Thunderdome set up, who knows if they're going to cut people out that are booing when they don't want them to boo? Who knows? You never know when they can.
They're going to pipe in sound. So.
Exactly. So be checking us out when we live react, and again we'll recap the Rumble after it goes off the air on Sunday as well. Now a bit of wrestling news, and this one just kind of blew the wrestling world up. It had been rumored for a while that WWE was looking for a buyer for the streaming rights to WWE Network. And in the United States, they surprised everybody Monday morning. And this is a great move, I think, for NBC and based on the money for WWE. If you haven't heard by now, WWE Network in the United States will be moving to the Peacock streaming service on March 18th. Some of the specifics, it's a 5-year deal valued at over $1 billion that NBCUniversal is paying to WWE. So while the ratings may have dropped and people were saying this and that, NBC runs in and just throws a shit ton of money for streaming rights. So a lot of questions came out when the news first broke, but what WWE has confirmed through a corporate press release is that all the live pay-per-view events, including WrestleMania, Fastlane will be the first one to go over. That's the first pay-per-view on Peacock will be March 21st, Fastlane. Elimination Chamber will be the last one on the current WWE Network setup. All the original content, all the library, everything WWE Network currently has is moving to the Peacock Network. And they also said part of the agreement is that they're going to have one signature documentary a year starting in 2022 that WWE's going to produce, like one big long documentary, some new content. As far as pricing goes, what they've explained is that if you currently have a subscription to WWE Network, which is $9.99 a month as we know by now, that will automatically migrate over to Peacock at the Peacock Premium tier, which is $4.99 a month or $50 annually, and it includes ads. But the beauty of it is you don't just get access to the WWE section, you get access to everything Peacock has to offer. A lot of the NBC shows. Mike, you missed The Office. There you go.
I was going to say, I was a little salty at first when NBC took off their shows off Netflix and Hulu and stuff, and I wasn't going to give Peacock a chance. But if you're going to tell me I can get the WWE Network, WrestleMania, The Office, Parks and Rec all for the same price, then I'm back in.
Yeah. And even more awesome about it is that it's available on every streaming service and streaming device that WWE Network is currently on. So PS4, PS5, Roku, Android, Apple, everything. Now, the other tier that Peacock has, Premium Plus, it's the $9.99 a month we're used to, or you can pay $100 a year. And the only difference is there's no ads if you go with that tier, and you can download shows onto your mobile device to watch them offline, say if you're going to be on a flight, that kind of thing. So, and of course, we don't have that issue here in Texas, or maybe some parts do, but if you're in any part of the country that has Xfinity or Cox Cable, the Peacock Network is included in your subscription. So you're basically going to get WWE Network at no extra cost to you, which is pretty cool. Much like AT&T customers can HBO Max. So, guys, let's start with your initial reaction to the news that WWE had sold the rights to the WWE Network here for 5 years.
Well, I mean, go ahead, yeah.
Go ahead, Tommy.
I was shocked because I don't know, Vince. I know Vince likes control, but then again, he likes money more. So I guess that was my thing. It was like him actually selling that. Because I remember hearing that rumor, but I didn't know if he was actually going to do it. This has been talking about. So I think it's still it's cool. I mean, I wasn't actually going to get Peacock at all. That was like the one streaming service I had no interest in. But since I will be paying for the network, I can get it. Yeah, I can get it now. I can even get the Premium Plus and get it for the $10 a month now. Mm-hmm. Although, part of me, the funny part is, part of me still like, don't get it. Get Stardom World instead. And that part is making a lot more sense the more I think about it. It's like, Stardom World.
I mean, if you pay for Peacock annually at $100, you're saving $20 a year. So you got a little bit of wiggle room to work with that. Just throwing that out there. Now, Mike, you mentioned before, you can give us your initial reaction, but you also mentioned before we started recording about you're worried about how the interface is going to be. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Well, yeah. So, and it's just some stuff I'd seen online. I saw this one post, and basically, the network has been around 5 years now, 6 years,
actually,
7 years, right?
It'd be 7 years, February 24th, and I recall that because Tina was like, "Man, you should look up your old email to see your first email from it," and I found it. And I remember when I got the email, they accidentally put what subscriber number I was, and it was 9. But they took that out through the coding of it or whatever. They updated it. But, yeah.
But so it's been around a while, and they've over the years have put a lot of improvements into being able to access things. So like the guy was showing, like on the network, you could search S.A. Rios, and you can they just throw like all the search results will have like matches he's in, specifically so you can jump to those individual things on a show. And then he went over to Peacock, which is obviously very brand new. Has been around since the middle of last year or something, or late last year.
Late last year.
Yeah. And he searched Amy Poehler, which is, the star of Parks and Rec, and it said no results found. So they're just saying, you're going to move everything to Peacock. Are you going to move some of those things that the WWE Network had into there as well to make things like that easier? Are all the especially the old pay-per-views, are they still going to have like their time jumps where every, it's pretty much marked for every match to begin so you can jump to them? Is all that stuff still going to be a part of it? Mm-hmm. It's valid questions, and they've got a couple months, about 2 months until Peacock adds that. So it'd just be interesting to see. But yeah, so back to my initial reaction though, I was shocked too. And especially before we found out a lot more of the specifics, I was really leery because I was like, what does this mean? I was like, am I going to, I was really afraid that A, they were going to hike the price up to get it, or B, and this is something that still probably may happen down the road. Like we had talked about, they may start charging for higher prices, or at least for like their bigger pay-per-views, like Rumble, Mania, Survivor Series. So, I mean, as of now, no, but you never know in a year or two.
Yeah, because like UFC, while pay-per-views are exclusively on ESPN Plus, you have to subscribe to ESPN Plus, and then you still have to pay the $40 or $50, whatever, to buy a UFC pay-per-view. Right. It's not included. Like they won't give you a discounted price. But that was my worry too until they said, no, this is basically as it is.
Yeah,
you have a little cheaper savings available to you. As far as the interface, I wonder if they're just going to put a separate section on the Peacock streaming service that just says WWE Network over here. Like instead of sports, and then you have.
That's actually what I was thinking too. It's like you're paying for Peacock and everything, but there's a whole separate network section.
And it just links back basically to the and I don't know, that might be, but it was something that I saw brought up, and I was like, that's something to look at. How is it going to integrate into Peacock, or is it going to do that? So something to keep an eye on.
Because as it stands, they're still going to have the 24/7 live channel going, is from what I understand. Mm-hmm. Because the WWE Network is still going to be as it currently sits in Canada, Mexico, international.
Right,
it's still going to be that way. So my thinking is that you would have to go to this section, and then you can go to the live channel, or maybe you see the same interface.
Yeah, maybe.
From a connection standpoint, I'm actually a little bit excited. I've tested the Peacock Network's free tier on Roku. Mm-hmm. And you don't have connection issues.
Really?
That's been like an issue ever since WWE moved away from the deal they had with Major League Baseball to help them out with it, get it started. When they changed up the interface, randomly my Roku will be like, lost connection, and then come back. It's weird. It randomly logs me out, So I'm kind of hoping that Peacock will fix a lot of those issues. And Tina and I are excited we get to see the new Saved by the Bell, because that's on the Peacock Network. Might as well. This age of reboots and relaunches and all that stuff. It's
don't like, do it.
Yeah. Reboot it. So it's definitely a good move, and now the more details have come out. A lot of people though were concerned about maybe down the line if they charge more for pay-per-views. A lot of people were worried about that 7 years ago when the WWE Network was going to launch.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but who knows? It remains to be seen.
And in all honesty, I know like there's still some people in certain parts that still have to buy the pay-per-view if they want to watch it. But I think for the majority of the fans who have gotten used to the network, asking to pay anywhere near 40 or 50, let alone, 20 for the pay-per-views, I think the numbers aren't going to be as high as they would hope, because like we've gotten really used to like $10 a month. I get all this plus the pay-per-views, so.
Yeah. If they go to like doing that sort of thing, as Scott Steiner say, the numbers don't lie, and that's real disaster for you, right?
And like and no one's going to want to pay the extra money for Fastlane or the little ones in between.
Yeah, of course.
And then they always work in Scott Steiner's math promo into the show. I'm amazed that we can always find a way to get that in here.
Hashtag math. I mean, his math wasn't wrong. That's the best part of it.
Whoa. The numbers added up. The math and what he used was completely off, but the math, it's like when you use you get it wrong, but the work you do is right. It's just not the answer to the problem.
Yeah, I know.
Like you did the math right, but you wasn't, the one that answered the question.
Yeah. Yeah, and there are some other countries in the world where WWE Network is actually a channel on a cable network.
Yeah.
So just depending where you go. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We'll see if in 5 years there's going to be a bidding war. If this goes well for Peacock, is there going to be a bidding war where Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus, for that matter, try and jump on the bandwagon? Can you imagine if ESPN Plus is WWE Network, right? So. We'll see, but it's pretty exciting. March 18th, it moves over. We're going to get Rumble, we're going to get NXT TakeOver, and Elimination Chamber are going to be the last 3 pay-per-views on WWE Network in the United States on its current form. And then
my brain is, I'm imagining Roman Reigns staring down Goofy saying he's the head of the table.
Oh gosh.
That's what I was thinking. Roman, hey. I'm the head of the table.
And Roman throws him over the top rope, Royal Rumble style, and you just hear, Yahoo!
If that happens, every Disney princess will be surprised for the Royal Rumble. I'm just saying, every single one of them. So.
Oh my God, Charlotte's not going to put over Moana or any of them, man. She's not going to put over Snow White or
no, but Mulan will kick her ass. That's just
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Charlotte kicking out of Moana using the ocean, Elsa using her magic.
I mean, them all working together, that scene in Ralph Breaks the Internet was just epic. Like, there's no way you beat that.
Yeah.
But
Charlotte would kick at it too.
Yeah.
Dude, she was kicking out at 1 last night, man.
Yeah. I know.
She was getting beat up by Shayna and Nia and kicking out at 1. It was, yeah.
You think Vince will learn this lesson, but that's another story.
Okay, so before we move on, I'm pretty sure Vince's dream match is Charlotte versus Alexa versus Lacey in like a triple threat of just the blondes. Like I'm pretty sure that's
versus Mandy Rose.
Oh yeah. There you go, 4-way.
Yeah. That's his dream. Basically, it's for Trish Stratus's, which is what he always wanted out of life.
And somehow Asuka will still take the pin in that too. So
yeah, somehow, somewhere. All right. Other bit of wrestling that seems to come out. There's a little bit of drama around Mark Henry and the artist formerly known as Ryback. I say that because WWE did send him a cease and desist regarding Ryback, big guy, feed me more, all that stuff, but he doesn't seem to listen. I don't know how that worked out. But obviously, a lot of this came up because there's been a lot of rumors circulating that Ryback was close to signing with AEW. And Mark Henry went on to Busted Open Radio and had some concerns about it. A lot of his concerns stemmed from a tweet that Ryback had put on the internet maybe a couple weeks ago. And this is the tweet. I have it up in front of me. Wrestling's fake, guys, and the championships are props to market entertainers as, quote, champions. Nobody has actually ever won or lost a prop, as scripted physical entertainment is incapable of that. The tweet explains so much through your TV deal with them. He's quoting the WWE on Fox saying, the best superstar to never win the WWE Championship is blank, looking for responses. And then Ryback's trying to make himself relevant. So, and apparently it's gone a bit of a back and forth. Ryback threatening to sue WWE and Mark Henry for slander and yada, yada, yada.
Mark Henry, I think, threatened to like rip his skin off or something. So that was fun.
I'm not going to mess with Mark Henry. I mean, would you?
No.
I'd rather fight Ryback than Mark Henry because I think I'd have more of a chance.
Mark Henry's his song said it all, man. Someone's going to get their neck broke. Someone's going to get their wig split. Like, Hall of Pain, man.
Well,
I know.
Well, I mean, it's also the fact that his gimmick isn't actually a gimmick. He legitimately proved he was the world's strongest man.
Yeah. My question here is, I don't know if I really have a question. But
why are we talking about Ryback?
We're talking about it obviously because this guy just.
No, I know.
He's trying to bring. He's like just his name being brought out there. If he were to go to AEW. Would it be a bad idea?
Yes. For AEW.
For AEW.
He doesn't fit in there.
I can't see a world where they need him. I really can't. Yeah. Even with because me and some people were talking about like some of the things AEW does get wrong because they're not perfect. One of the things is they don't always put guys who are TV ready as one guy I know put it, and I agree with that to a point. But at the same time, there's a lot of guys that comes with time. Ryback's been on TV, and I still don't think he's always TV ready. So,
No.
and it's the fact that okay, a guy like Miro being there from WWE has a lot of personality that he uses to get himself over in a good way, like the video games and stuff. Ryback does have personality. He doesn't use it right, and that's because that's his personality. Because when he was, kind of talking more, he was actually kind of an interesting character to build up. But it just never seemed to go anywhere. And now he's just all he does is just trash talk, and it's not even just WWE. It's like he trash talks wrestling. Period. And I don't hate him for that. I just don't think he's a good fit there. I think if some other company wants to pick him up that's not called AEW or ROH, they can't
the funny thing is, I in a weird way think he would somehow be able to reboot his career in Ring of Honor.
I think he could, but I think he probably better somewhere like MLW first, and then go to. All right, like MLW seems like to be a good place for people to reboot themselves. MLW and NWA, because they're doing a new show now, and I think those are two good places to rebuild yourself. Say again.
Good.
I was gonna say if he humbles himself, dear Lord, please, and like goes those places first and builds himself back up, then he could do that, But he'd have to humble himself first. But
You mentioned the fact that when Miro, formerly Rusev, got released, I mean, he still had his following, he had his personality. He was on Up, Up, Down, Down. He's on TikTok with his wife. He's tweeting. He's entertaining, Twitch, all that stuff. He's out there and he's making it. Fans love him for what he did.
Yeah.
Then there's Ryback.
Yeah.
Because literally a day after that last tweet I mentioned.
There's Mod.
No, because let me explain why. Miro has that following. Everybody loves him. Everybody knows who he is. Literally the day after Ryback's last tweet, he put this at Twitter. He sent this message to Twitter. I genuinely ask you to respond to me and help me with this account. It's criminal how this has been allowed to carry on for 4.5 years, and less than 1% of my following even sees my posts. I cannot let up, and this will get resolved. Communicate. It's been 4.5 years of trying. You mean to tell me you're complaining that in 4.5 years, only 1% of the people that actually follow you on social media don't even see your posts? That should tell you something.
Does he not know what the mute button is? Or
people mute him or block him, or they generally just don't care. You don't bring anything out there because it seems ever since you got released, all you've done is complain about the business as it is.
Yeah.
You want an interview talking about how Vince McMahon said, I appreciate your hard worker. I just don't see me having anything for you right now. Yeah. How many guys have we said that about? I mean, Cesaro is one of them. I mean, he's probably the hardest working guy ever in WWE. And maybe this is finally his shot. Sometimes it takes a little time, patience, and for things to work out the right way, And he didn't seem to have that. He seemed to want instant results. And maybe part of it is he got a little spoiled by the almost the Goldberg-like push he was getting where he was undefeated for so long until the Shield got him, Obviously, the CM Punk podcast interview with Cole Komet didn't do him any favors. But
probably, my other thing is that where you have guys who left WWE, maybe they were mad about it, but they kind of got over it and were like, not as bitter anymore. Miro being a great example because he still does talk in good terms about some things that happened to him there, and he still puts over Lana every chance he gets. If he really hated them, he wouldn't even mention when she's on there, but he's always talking about her too. Like that whole pinning thing that was still hilarious. That pinning tweet was fantastic. And you have guys like, and to me, a prime example of a guy who I think should still be able to work anywhere he wants to is Dustin Rhodes. I feel like I don't care where he's signed, he should be allowed to work everywhere because he's such a positive influence on the business. Because he showed a video on Twitter just the other day because someone tried to call him out on it. He posted, I think it's from the school. He had a huge AEW banner there, but he showed the pictures of all like friends of his, and a lot of them are WWE people because that's where he was for 20 plus years of his career. So yeah, his wall's gonna have a lot of WWE people in there. No, like a lot of his friends still work there. He doesn't hate these people. He just moved on to something else to help his brother out to go further his career. There's nothing wrong with that. And so someone tried to call him out. I was like, and they said like, oh, you'll be back in WWE in a couple of years. And I was like, even if that's true, even if he does go back, that's him having pictures up there does not speak negatively about where he's at. It speaks positively about where he's been his entire career. And that's him saying, acknowledging, I've been a lot of places and there are a lot of good people I've met. That's something that him and Miro and I think honestly even Jon Moxley lately has been doing. Like I think Moxley's frustration with WWE's booking at the time has faded and he still has good things to say about them. So, where you have those guys where, like, they have legitimate gripes, like Ryback, I think had some legitimate gripes, but they've moved on. They're like, okay, we were mad, we said some stuff, we're over it now. It wasn't the worst place on earth. I could have not had a job at all. So there.
Yeah. You know what? How did none of us pick CM Punk as our surprise entrant?
I mean, he's 22-1 odds in the Rumble, maybe.
How is he always in the Vegas odds? Jeez Louise. Okay.
Sorry. Because
Conor McGregor is there at 50-1 for crying out loud.
I mean, honestly, it's because he's a name people know.
Yeah, so somebody in Vegas will put money on him. Yeah. So,
March.
It is Vegas. You're right.
It is Vegas. So, when you come down to it, I think Mark Henry has genuine concerns. And it's nothing against Ryback. It's the stuff you put out there. You complain about it. When you call the business fake, and everyone will say, well, why is it okay for Ronda to do it but not Ryback? The difference is Ronda did it as part of a storyline.
Yeah.
She genuinely respects the business. And she did it because in a real life storyline with Becky Lynch and Charlotte, it made sense. You're saying because you're a scorned employee. That's really what it all comes down to. So
I think, and I think the difference with my thing is with Ronda, the difference with her is, like you said, it was storyline, but then look at everything she's been doing since then. Like her little skits online had just been joking around and playing, but she cut a wrestling promo on something in the fridge one time, which may have been, which when I saw that, I said, okay, can we give her the world title back again? Because I think she kind of earned it. This woman cut a promo on the fridge, and I kind of love her for it. And then when she was like climbing the ladder, like struggling to get up there, and her husband said, you can go back to wrestling whenever you want. She's like, I know, babe, I know. And then when Devon was in their house randomly, she said to get the table. With Ronda, it was like that didn't come from a place of like she was, on some random podcast saying it. She said it in the ring. She said it on WWE TV where she was still employed. When you want, what about there are other examples of wrestlers doing that. They break that fourth wall. Who they don't always say wrestling is fake or anything like that, but they say legitimate things. CM Punk bomb, the pipe bomb. Oh my God, he put the whole company on blast. If you want to talk to someone who should have legitimately gotten in trouble if they were real. They'd have fired him before he got to the curtain good.
Yeah.
He would have got back to Gorilla good before his stuff would have been waiting for him and Vince saying, get out. So
yeah, I think Ryback's just one of those guys who can dish it out, but then when you throw it back at him, he gets super offended. Yeah, he can't take it. And, honestly, I wasn't even lying when I said, why are we talking about Ryback? Like, I got no time for him. Like, it's
well,
I know what you mean, but I'm just me personally.
Yeah, I get it. I absolutely get it. I don't care how old he is. I don't want to fight Mark Henry. I legit I was dead serious about that. I don't care.
Mark, we all love you here. Hook 'em horns. I know you're a big fan, so
I don't care. I don't care how old that man gets, how gray his beard becomes. I don't care if he is on one leg with a cast because he was actually kicking a bull and broke his foot off in its ass because I just feel like he does that on a weekend basis. It's like he's just like to keep himself sharp. He goes to fight a bull. I don't care. I would never fight Mark Henry. I don't care how old he is because there's something called old black man strength. Every black man has this. It's not a myth. It's real. My granddaddy had it, which is why we never fought him either.
Yeah. Before we move on, I will say this, Mark Henry. Appreciate you still looking out for the business. I personally, as a fellow Longhorn fan, would just love to hear your thoughts on the Steve Sarkisian hire as the new head coach. So, comment, whatever. Let me know. Talk about it on Busted Open Radio. I'll listen. I don't care. or whatever. Final thing on the wrestling news: the trailer just dropped today for Young Rock.
I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
Yeah, a new TV series on NBC starting February 16th. From the same producers as Fresh Off the Boat, guys. What do you? I mean, I think it's going to be an interesting show. But what do you think about them pretty much doing a comedic story about The Rock growing up?
Oh, I think it's good. I think it's going to be funny.
Yeah,
I saw some scenes from I don't know a couple of weeks ago. I don't know the first trailer. They just released some stuff, and it looks funny. Like they've got someone that kind of looks like him when you see pictures of him a kid, and then they have him when he's supposed to be like a 15-year-old in high school with the mustache and looking like he's 25, and there's supposed to be like a bunch of stuff where he's with his dad, interacting with wrestlers from the 70s. So I think it'll be fun. I mean, with him involved,
there's a scene apparently where like Andre the Giant comes into a classroom at some point and it freaks the class out. I'm really interested to see little scenes like that, and how many of these stories might actually be true.
Yeah,
that'll be fun to see.
Well, wrestling to all of them, obviously.
Yeah,
I will say my expectations I won't say are super high, but they're pretty. I think it's a pretty good chance only because I don't watch it religiously, but when I do watch Fresh Off the Boat, I can't stop laughing. Like that show's legitimately hilarious to me. So and to me, the sound just from the premise alone, it just sounds like it's just something like The Rock might have like just been like, let's just have some fun with my life, I pray to God there's extensive use of the whole turtleneck fanny pack thing.
I was about to say they have to put that in somehow. Maybe like a little Easter egg in each episode. Maybe you see a fanny pack here or a chain.
And one more caveat, when that episode airs, I hope Ricky Starks films himself watching the episode wearing that exact same outfit because he took a picture wearing that, and I died laughing. So whenever that episode comes on, Ricky, if you're watching this, when that episode happens, you got to go all in, bro. You got to watch the episode in the turtleneck with the fanny pack on. You got to watch it, bro. You got to do this for the for the culture, man. For the culture, man.
For the culture. Oh, that's great. That's great. That would be awesome if that's like the final end when the series finally ends. The last shot is him in that turtleneck.
You know what? I take it back. Everyone should do it. Like every fan of The Rock, they should get Stone Cold and Triple H, Undertaker to all wear turtlenecks and fanny packs.
That's your Rock cosplay, by the way, for the premiere.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to wear what he wore when he was wrestling. I don't have the body for that. Anyway.
Undertaker's busy doing cameos still, so he can't do that.
That's fair.
You never know. Who wouldn't want to see Undertaker wearing a turtleneck and a fanny pack? So, all right. With that, we'll move on to our 1 minute warning segment. Tommy, I'm sorry, Mike. Do you have anything this week?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Ready, set, and go.
My 1 minute morning is honestly kind of a continuation from last week, just kind of talking about some of the great things that were going on Smackdown. And yes, with the people that I am big fans of. Cesaro, again, threw a challenge out there. Dolph Ziggler came out, and I was afraid for a minute they might do that thing where they give people momentum one week and then the next person. But he took out Cesaro once. That was cool, and that's kind of why I feel like they have a chance with him in our Rumble picks. Billie Kay, again, with the Riot Squad, but she cost him the match, and backstage, it was one of the most heartbreaking scenes. They told her they're sorry. They just don't think they should work with her, and her face was so sad. I kind of wanted to go comfort her. She can be on my squad. But yeah, SmackDown's just been fun and definitely better than Raw. So,
all right, good stuff. Tommy, you got anything this week?
I do, and it's I do. You'll see when I get there.
All right, ready, set, and go.
All right. Well, it's going to be New Japan related, of course. They're coming up is I think Sakura Genesis, or I don't think it is. But anyway, they have Tanahashi and Shingo Takagi. If you guys haven't heard, are going 1-on-1 for the Never Openweight Championship. and they already had a 8-man tag match on the road to it, and it ended in a draw, 30-minute draw, and so Tanahashi's looking for this to be his comeback and everything. But my main thing is El Phantasmo and Taiji Ishimori won the junior heavyweight tag titles, and freaking Phantasmo did not know the names of the 4 pillars of heaven, the main 4 guys from All Japan. They are Mitsuharu Misawa, Toshiaki Kawada, Akira Toei, and Kenta Kobashi. You idiot! Do not start saying those 4 names if you don't know them. That is sacrilege, and I will not stand by it. That offends my religion, not Christianity, but the other one. I'm good.
I don't know what's worse if you don't know those 4 pillars, or if you don't know the 3 branches of government.
The 4 pillars. For
Tommy
sure.
Tupperville, I'm looking at you.
Tommy, real quick, I saw something on Reddit, and I figured if anyone would know, you do. I saw something about 2 older Japanese wrestlers that are having a match, and the stipulation is the loser can no longer use the Mongolian chop. Have you seen this?
I heard something ridiculous like that, and I can't remember who it was.
And that just sounds like the funniest thing. And okay, I was just like,
but you know what? I haven't. But you know what? That's just like the older guys in Japanese wrestling when their careers are like pretty much over. They're like, they're just making extra money to go to the stores, or pretty much. I always like to think they're wrestling a match because their family's like, okay, you've been home too long, go wrestle somewhere. We literally don't care where it is. Just get out for like 2 hours.
Part of me just wants to see that the loser of that match, like later on, like in another match, starting to go, oh, I can't do the chops.
Or they'll go into our mask to use the chop, that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Knock out the ref first.
Yeah.
Knock out the ref first.
All right. For me this week, I want to kind of bring up the challenge this past week, I should say. If you haven't been keeping up with it, Leo Rush left the challenge. Obviously, pulled himself out of the challenge. He had to take some time. Basically, had to step out from the competition. He wasn't eliminated or anything, but he decided to, for mental health reasons, quit on the, well, not necessarily quit, but step away, like remove himself from the competition, as they said. One of the things they explored in there was because he was having a lot of flashbacks to his early life. Him having grown up in a group home, waking up every day with strangers, not knowing where his next meal was going to come from. And a lot of that was he was dealing with some mental health, flashing back to that when he was in the challenge house, waking up with people he doesn't know, being in the house with all these people, and it was a lot of that was just taking a toll on him. But I want to say I respect him for it. With the landscape going on with wrestling at the time when they were filming this, independents weren't running. There wasn't a whole lot for wrestlers to get involved with. And he took time to fly halfway across the world to Iceland, be away from his pregnant wife and his 2 kids, quarantine, and then be on a reality show. And he made so many friendships there. Part of the reason why he just didn't feel he had the mental capacity to backstab one of them, because the name of the season is Double Agents, and there's a whole lot of backstabbing going on with the politics of it. But I want to say that Leo Rush is doing well for himself. Not too long ago, he debuted in MLW, won a title his first time back there, and he's slowly making his name back up again in the wrestling ranks. And I'm very proud of him as a wrestling fan, as a reality TV fan, of how he did on the challenge. He came out with a lot of new friends, a lot of respect, and maybe one point down the line, we'll see him on the challenge again when it's not as crazy. So, but yeah.
I just realized no one was timing you.
I was timing myself. Dick. Oh, anyway. As for us, the Royal Rumble is this Sunday, January 31st at 6 p.m. Central Time. Kickoff should be at 4 o'clock. It'll be from the Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida, a.k.a. Tampa.
Did you say kickoff?
Kickoff show, pre-show.
Okay.
They call it kickoff show.
Yeah, okay, but for a minute I was like, this isn't the Super Bowl. Okay.
Even though the Super Bowl is going to be the same city a week later. Yeah, everything's happening in Tampa this year. Rumble, Super Bowl, WrestleMania again.
Ex-president's fleeing there.
Yeah.
Well, it's not all good news, but...
Yeah, and this will be on WWE Network. 3 pay-per-views to go for us. Internationally, there's will be many more, but for us in the United States, it's on WWE Network. As for us, our Twitter account, @CCG_WrestleCast, and Be sure to subscribe here on the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel.
I'm so glad you can see me doing this now.
Yes. We will be live reacting to the Rumble matches and doing a live recap of the Rumble Sunday night after the event goes off the air. It's going to be a fun time. We're going to do the live thing a shot, and then we'll be back to our normal thing the following week talking NXT TakeOver. So, guys, the Rumble is always fun. I'm looking forward to it. As we said, this is going to be an interesting year because we have no idea who's the person they're grooming to be the next Rumble winner. So, and I think I'm excited about that. So, yeah.
Me too.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We look forward to seeing you live on Sunday as we react to the Royal Rumble. Over here, we got Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
We got Mike.
Thanks, guys. We get to each other.
And I'm JC, and as always, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are fake.
Yeah.
Hey yo, subscribe to the channel by clicking right here.
Or if you want to watch more videos, click right here.